Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me. My name is Rod Batiste. I am a former middleweight champion of the world in full contact karate and the inventor of Escape Strategies, which stands for the easy system of control and practical emergency strategies. Now today, I'm going to talk to you about a weapon that I feel is one of the most, if not is, the most important tool that you can have in your self-defense arsenal. It is also a weapon that is not very well articulated clearly, and so may be overlooked by a lot of people. Now, let me start by saying that if you like the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and let's get started. When I was 6 years old, I had my first fight. We had moved into a new neighborhood and I went to a new school, and it started there. And after that day, I found myself seeming to fight all of the time. I got fighting so much that I started to prepare myself for the eventuality that I might have a fight the day that I went to school. So I started wearing sneakers in school. I would choose my sneakers depending on whether or not I felt that I would have a fight that day. Right? I moved on and got into my teens, and I was living in a very, very violent area, Brownsville, Brooklyn. There was a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of violence. I would witness people getting shot, stabbed, etc. I was so terrified that I joined a karate club. It was called a Japanese Goju-Kai karate club, but the name is irrelevant. From that day on, I started my training in martial arts with the intentions of being prepared if I should ever have to protect myself and I didn't have the safety of my other gang members. Okay, so I moved from there, and at 18, I went into the Army, and I got shipped in AIT, that's Advanced Individual Training, to Missouri. And I was deeply involved in my martial arts training at that time. I took my training seriously, and I would train all the time, almost to a religious fervor. And I remember one Friday, I had finished my training and went through the day, and I decided to go to a bar that was on the base. Well, when I was inside the bartender became very friendly with me. And I didn't really think much of it, and he would just kind of come by and put a drink on my table, and I would say, hey, thanks, and I'd have the drink, and it would continue on for several drinks. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the bartender came over, said something to me, and started shouting at me. I was bewildered. He grabbed me by my shirt, yanked me out of the bar, attempted to throw a punch at me. My reflexes, though, because I had been training earlier that day, was still sharp. I was able to deflect the strike and defend myself. Moving on in my life, somewhere in my late 20s, maybe 27 or 28, I moved to Arlington, Virginia. I was again deeply in martial arts. I would train every day religiously. I was an instructor, certified martial arts instructor, constantly giving tips, constantly giving advice about safety situations. Now again, my safety situations comes from past experiences, things that I have lived. I almost never talk about theory or hypotheses because I want to be sure that if I am putting someone else's safety in my hands, that I can be pretty assured that it would work for them. Okay, well, I was at a stop sign, and I was looking at the light, and I looked at the right passenger side, that as I looked, someone was approaching my car. I looked at the light, I looked at the person, and he was pointing to me and seeming to say, would you take me up the street? One time I looked at the light, and when I went to look back at him, he had opened the door, pulled out a gun, and got in. Okay, so we drove around town. We went into a very, very notoriously bad area in the town, and a fight broke out. I was able to take the gun away from him. The reason I feel is because I was heavy in the martial arts. I was prepared for the eventuality that you just never know when you have to defend yourself. Okay? Now here I am in my mid-60s, and I still to this very day never leave the house without my handheld canister of mace. Why? Because in the eventuality that I may have to protect myself, I want to be prepared. So if you haven't picked it up already, let me say it clearly to you. The best weapon that you can arm yourself with in any situation is being prepared. And unfortunately, not enough people take their personal safety seriously. Most of them because they've never had to defend themselves in their lives, and they're thinking it's never going to happen to them. So I'm not gonna belabor the issue. I'm just not gonna worry about it. And some even think, if it happens, I'll think about it then. But that's not the kind of thing that you want to do with personal safety. The better prepared you are, the better off you will do in any given situation. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below and tell all your friends about it.